Hey guys, welcome to this episode of Toku Turnback. I'm your host, Frozen Stratos, and today we will be taking a look at episodes 26 through 30 of Gosei Sentai Dairanger. And to start off with, we'll be taking a look at the first of a two-parter, A Bad Guy, with episode 26. And this is the first time that we've really had a sort of shake up to the norm of the villain of the week, wherein we have in the back a through line where basically we're creating a new villain. And while I enjoy this, I enjoy the focus that it brings specifically to the Red Ranger. Well, I mean, let's just talk about who he is first. There's just this guy who's going around and killing various other martial art masters, all in the service of being the best. And throughout his journey, I suppose, of collecting these deaths, he runs into this girl who we later learn is his lover from before. And he has some very odd motivations. I think they just stem from him wanting to be the best. I'm not sure it's really touched upon that much in this episode. But when he finally, when he kills someone, he runs into the Red Ranger on accident, and the Red Ranger obviously confronts him and is defeated by him. Now, this definitely shakes Ryo, and it's nice to finally, you know me, I want more development for some of these characters, and Red, definitely on that list of, of characters that I really needed some more depth on, and this gave it to us, kind of. It was really cool in that it was able to set up, I guess, him becoming a little stronger. Overall, after these two episodes, episode 26 and 27, it doesn't really feel like anything significantly changed over the course of the show, which I guess this show really has an episodic nature, if not it serializes itself for maybe a few episodes, but I don't, it didn't amount to much. And I guess I'll talk 27 too, 26 and 27 as an overview, 27 being titled It's the Final Punch. The conflict between the two, Ryo and this new guy, I think his name was let's see. His name is Jin. Yes, Jin. The conflict between those two is basically, I want to be the best. No, I want to be the best. I want to defeat you. No, I want to defeat you. And it's kind of just boring. I mean, in the background, actually, I don't even want to say in the background, running concurrently is this story where Lin gets captured. Rin or Lin, I don't know how, you can translate that either way. But, she gets captured in this pot that can't be beat by punching it, so in order to fight him, they just keep punching him. Okay, it wasn't that well done, because the problem with these two plots running concurrently, it's you have the villain of the week set up, but you have also this thing happening beside it, and it really splits your focus between both of those stories. And I felt that it was a little troublesome, especially to really, I guess, keep up with. Like, you don't really know what to put more importance to. And I feel like Jin creates this nice parallel for his name. Oh, his name. I know it. It's Decker in Power Rangers Samurai. You guys know who I'm talking about. It's I can't believe I'm blanking. It'll come to me. But Fuwajuzo. There it is. That's his name. It creates this nice parallel to Fuwajuzo, wherein he's just the rival of the Red Ranger, just kind of like throughout. The only difference is that they set up almost said Decker again. They set up that guy's character way early on, and then it culminates to this final battle where he meets his supposed end. And with Jin, the same beats happen, except way quicker. It happens in this two-parter that felt a bit shoehorned, because we have this danger going on in the back that has nothing to do with Jin, and Red clearly has to save his team. So why is he splitting his focus with the threat of Jin? Because obviously his friends are having trouble and they're not doing well without him. Certainly the training helps. It does. It's just that when your team's in danger, why is your manliness taking precedence over you being the leader? And I know I keep saying that Green is definitely a better leader, but Red still is the leader. So he really needed to step up and drop it. And drop the whole Jin stuff, take care of his team before himself, and then take care of Jin. Now, again, Shinkenger has this great parallel where Takeru just gives command to Blue to take care of the team himself and head on the villain of the week, while he himself took on Juzo. That was more compelling because they were attacking a problem from two different fronts. Like they were trying to tackle two different problems at once, and they were able to balance it. In this, it just sort of felt like, oh, this is happening, this is also happening. I'm going to ignore whatever is happening over there and let the team get captured. I'm going to deal with this Jin guy, beat him up, and then save you. Because you guys aren't as important as me proving that I'm the best. I didn't like that. I really didn't like that. It was cool, don't get me wrong. The training sequence was pretty brutal. Like, he had this contraption on him that basically he was in training mode 100% of the time throughout the course of over the course of I don't know, was it day, 2 days? Maybe it was a week. I'm not sure of the timeline here, but it takes me back to just like rigorous training montages. I don't know, it's something we don't get much of in Toku, I want to say, too often. Like, done in a serious manner, because he was absolutely driven to beat this guy. Because he was a danger, don't get me wrong, just like Fuwajuzo was a danger. The only problem is we didn't really set up, like, any pressing issue with him, outside of him going around... I mean, like, I feel like a Gorma is... I don't know, a supernatural threat is way different from a regular human threat. And I mean, it all culminates to one of the bad guys reviving him as, or not reviving him because he wasn't dead, he was just beat up. He gave him this power of, like, unresting souls of evil people who have too much revenge to pass on to the next life. And in order to obtain the powers, he kills his lover. And it really shows, what his hierarchy of values are. It's either power or love, and he chose power. He is completely driven for power, and he even, takes on a darker form now. He's more like he had a mechanical hand before, which was pretty neat, and now he just has this odd looking armor. He makes a more compelling villain than the villains we had already. I appreciate that very much. Overall, this arc, while I appreciated some of its things, it got a lot of things wrong. Is it enough to say that it was a bad arc? No. It was certainly an entertaining arc. If you take this all on its own, it's fine. Like, this is definitely something that, like, if a friend really wanted to try something out, or if you really wanted to introduce Sentai to someone, you just take this two-parter and show them this. This serves as somewhat of a good introduction to our Red Ranger, which is, I don't know, probably a better introduction of at least his motivations than the first episode was. It's entertaining, it's compelling, it's setting up a mystery. The only problem is that it diverts its focus a lot by not choosing which one. Okay, this is a weird thing to say. Since they were both plots, Villain of the Week and Jin, were given equal amounts of time, we didn't know what to focus on. If you lessen one and kind of and expand on the other, we know what to focus on, and we won't know what to somewhat take note of in the other part of it. Like, if you focus in on one part, say let's focus in on the aspect of the Villain of the Week, and then have Jin going on in the background, and then have everything play out except put more emphasis on the Villain of the Week. Then we went to episode 2. We kind of dealt with the Villain of the Week, but then really leaned in on Jin. If we had taken out the Villain of the Week first, and then had everyone watching the fight between Jin and the Red Ranger, it would have been a lot better. I feel like. Overall, though, this was a fine two-parter. I liked it. It just made some pretty egregious missteps, in my opinion. So the next episode 28, Everyone's Here. This is a Yellow Focus episode. I'm finally getting what I want with this batch. We don't get to dive in a lot into his backstory, but when he finally moved from China over to Japan, we saw that he ran into this sweet old lady, and she took him in and gave him ramen. She was this ramen cart seller. That makes it sound like she's selling ramen carts. No, she sells ramen in her cart. And now that he's back on his feet, it's years later, he comes back every now and then to help her out. It's pretty great. It's incredible, and I love it. It's genuine. It's certainly something, like, it's a complaint that I had earlier. This is something that definitely a lot of the other guys would have done, but it feels like it's something that only he had done. Someone had taken him in, and he wants to repay them for it. It's a wonderful, wonderful story. And then we're also reintroduced, because we've seen this guy throughout, and I haven't said anything about him because, well, he's just been there. He hasn't been doing much, but his name's Kameo, and he's Turtle Guy. He's a fat dude with turtles, and he also draws things for kids. He's a nice dude. He's just a bit odd. And I like the the interaction that they had between each other, really building this friendship, because they somewhat ran into each other earlier when some Dairanger stuff was going on. And I feel like out of all the people, I don't really know the status on their like civilian identities, if they have any at all. I mean, Ko makes it pretty obvious this episode, considering the other part of this episode. It's that he wanted to keep his identity hidden from not only the Dairangers but like the rest of society. So I don't know if the Dairangers have that obligation. I think they're just out and about, and whoever sees them or happens to pass by them might know. I'm really not sure. Either way, this is a nice like it's a sweet story. And then we have everyone else on the team just out and about, and suddenly they're met with I guess the characters that really embody their stories, their individual stories. You got Green with Kujiku, you got Ryo with with Jin, and then you got Blue with the delinquent Gorma, and then you got Ko with his mother. No, it's either his mother or the other kid. Which one is it? I think it's the other kid. And then Pink doesn't really get anyone. She gets no one to like fight who is the center of her conflict. You know, she doesn't have a rival really. And you'd think that the other girl on the team, that would be her rival, but it's Kujiku's rival. So I don't know. She doesn't really have a rival, and that started to bother me, since, you know, all she was concerned with this episode, I mean, rightfully so, is that Ko is gone. He gets taken. Even though they defeat the brand new Gorma 4 Diva Kings, which are really weird guys. There's like a north, south, east, west one. Look, I get that they're trying to establish the whole villain of the week thing, but if you're just gonna create different ranks out of nowhere, just like toss them in anywhere, what's the point of it? I don't really know who is above who at this point, and I don't think it really matters. Honestly, you give them any sort of title and it could mean anything. I don't know how powerful these characters are. I don't like, it doesn't help anything, and they obviously are trying to create some sort of tension. They give this build up to these bad guys, but ultimately it resorts to nothing. Like, they die at the end but then come back to life. I don't know. It seems like a waste, but we'll see as time goes on. And then next we have in this episode, the turtle guy finds a gem. Ooh, and then the White Ranger is taken away. Ooh, conflict. And then let's just move on to episode 29? Yeah, 29. This is when we're diving a bit more into Ko. Yeah, I don't really like Ko, but he has this weird story where his mother, like, slept with a Gorma and then had him. So then she branded him with a tiger thing, and that sealed away his Gorma powers for a while, but unless he sees her before his 10th birthday, he's gonna turn into a Gorma. Don't know what that's about, but alright. It's fine. It's a fine story, I guess. Like, nothing really... I don't know. And they fight this villain who takes away all their weapons, so it's harder for them to fight. The grandpa comes back. He says, "Oh hey, got a new weapon for you. We just need the 7 heavenly jewels." And then they're like, "What? We have 6, including Kiva Ranger stuff. What are you talking about 7? Is there like a 7th jewel and a 7th Ranger?" And then he's like, "Ooh, not quite, not quite." And then cut back to Yellow. He's like, "Oh shoot, I know my buddy. He's got that jewel, kinda, I think." So he goes like, that's the plot off in the distance, and then we have the Dairangers just trying to fight off the bad guy, the villain of the week. They don't succeed. They move on to the second part of this story. It turns out the bad guys are trying to open up a door to hell. Okay, that's certainly something. It powers them up for a bit and then immediately does nothing else. It doesn't really create any tension. I'm not compelled just because of the villain, like the nature of the villains. I don't care about them. They're not compelling. I don't feel anything for them, they're obviously the weaker part of the show. I wish there was someone better for them to fight, but here we have them, and we're moving into the final episode of this, the episode 30, final episode of this batch, and it's called the Deadly Fast Talking Wanderer, and all they do is beat the villain. That's it. That's all they do. It's not much that. I don't know, man. It just wasn't great. They open up the portal to hell, or they open up the door to hell, kind of, and then they close it. They have the kids get stolen, but they save them. They using that new weapon. It was cool to see, and it's good setup for the 7th heavenly jewel, definitely. And also in the previews we get, I think in Mighty Morphin it was like Tor the Shuttle Zord. Are they setting up that the turtle guy's gonna turn into Tor? Because he turned into a turtle last episode. Is that what we're doing? Because I kind of want to see that. So I hope that that's the case. They save Ko, and like they don't tell him that he's gonna turn into a Gorma if he doesn't see his mom after his 10th birthday. They did this really weird thing where they have to use kids who are about to turn 10 to open up the door to hell. For whatever reason, I don't quite understand it myself, but they did it. I don't know why that's the ritual. Was that only to set up that like Ko was turning 10? Because he doesn't know when his birthday is. It's also very confusing, and I don't really like any sort of co-focus, but we got a lot of Kameo's story in the background, which I really, really liked. Having his story run in the background is something they probably should have done with Jin throughout the entirety of the show, but that's just me. Anyways, we're past the halfway mark for this show, and I mean, I'm still enjoying it. Don't get me wrong. For all the complaints that I have about it, I'm still enjoying it. It feels very much a product of its time, and I kind of love it for that, but also like it really shows in how much development that Pink gets, and yeah, so far I'm still enjoying it. I still want to watch it. I definitely want to see Kameo turn into Tor the Shuttle Zord, because I think that's what they're doing, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it. Anyways, guys, I think that's about it. So if you like this video, hit that like button. If you want to talk about this episode or these episodes with me, tell me in the comments down below what you thought about them. Do you like Jin? Do you like the conflict with Jin? Do you like anything about Ko? Because I kind of don't. And then hit that subscribe button if you want to hear more from us each week. I know these episodes have been coming out late recently. That's just by virtue of school happening, man. I got finals coming up. You know how it is. So Oh, and all the links to our social medias are in the description down below. If you want to join us on our Discord chat, we have one. We have a Discord chat now, and it's linked in the description below. And there's also the notification bell. In order to tell you when our new videos come up. Anyways, guys, thanks for listening. See ya.